Okay, so on this video, I want to go into another topic that I find pretty interesting. The concept of being opinionated versus being judgmental. And I find it interesting because considering we're called judgers, I feel that the idea of judgmental is completely different. And it also does come up in some of the dialogue regarding INTJs that the judgmental side is not what we perceive necessarily in society as being a judger in INTJs. So I just did a post on the idea of being opinionated. And again, for myself, this is experiential, so love to hear other people's views on these topics because I think everyone may have some interesting perspectives coming from their own realm and experience. So quick overview, if you haven't seen the opinionated video, I feel my opinions and my directness can absolutely cause friction in my relationships. And there's positives and negatives to the concept of being opinionated. Plus, I should also mention, because personality types are preferences, while we can temper certain things about our parts of our personality, the fact is that we have a propensity to be a certain way versus another way. And therefore, in my case, having opinions is just something that's inherent. So when I find someone else that has opinions, I get excited because I want to hear what they have to say. And even if it's a totally different mindset, it's a thing that allows me to have a greater body of knowledge, and I'm able to dissect whether or not I want to take something away from this conversation about how it impacts how I perceive things. And I also want to share information about what I have learned in context of that subject so that that is available for another individual, whether or not they take it. So this point, that's the opinionated side. The judgmental side, this is something that I find very interesting. And before I get into it, I want to make a point where I'm going to actually do a video a little bit later regarding the personality types that are the ones that I'm most attracted to or naturally are drawn to, and the ones that I'm not drawn to. And this topic actually speaks to it, where I am interested in opinionated people. However, I really do not like the idea of judgmental people. So it's a very fine line, and it's difficult to articulate. If I think of something to talk about in another video, I might go into it a bit more. But when I talk to the concept of judgmental, it is more about these concepts that are rigid and fixed. So these are constructs that this person is either absorbed through socialization, or they are things that they have just taken in as this is fact and that is it. I've spoken in the other video about how I feel that the idea of truth is subjective regarding the person. So everyone has their own experiences, and you can never go and say what is truth. That's my experience. There's a difference between fact and truth. That's a different topic. But so with the judgmental side, I find it very difficult when I have conversations with people that are extremely judgmental and rigid, because there's no learning. There's nothing to chew on and gain experience from. And that makes it where it's difficult to keep a dialogue going because it shuts down what I find the most attractive feature in having an in-depth conversation. And so being judgmental, I find, tends to be a turnoff for me because you're not keeping your ideas open. Opinions are something for myself that you have a concept based on what you've learned so far in your life, or you've, built a foundation on, and from there you can decide whether or not you want to adjust based on new facts or things that are coming in. So the judgmental side tends to be difficult for us, or for myself at least, on trying to make sense of. So I'm gonna go get into a little bit of these types of concepts in my future videos, as well, obviously, as doing some video requests, because as always, I always say, I do keep track of the video requests. So again, if you do have one that's coming up, especially in these types of videos that are speaking more to something that could be a very specific experience for you viewers, I'd love to hear them. Just make sure you put video request in the front or at the beginning, so then I can make sure that I capture them. Thanks so much.